Hey everyone, welcome back to Bix Book Summary. I'm Bix, and today's video is deeply personal, not just for me, but for many of us who have lived through pain we didn't always know how to name or explain. Today is the beginning of a series that I've been wanting to share with you for a very long time, a heartfelt journey through understanding trauma, healing from deep emotional wounds, and finding hope. We're going to explore these powerful themes through books that do much more than just explain trauma. They gently guide us toward true recovery. Today, we're diving into one of the most impactful and life-changing books in the field of trauma healing, The Body Keeps the Score, by Dr. Bessel van der Kolk. This book resonates deeply because it doesn't just scratch the surface. Instead, it compassionately explores how trauma reshapes our minds, rewires our nervous systems, and lingers within us in ways we might not fully understand yet. If you're someone like me, someone who has quietly spent years trying to untangle childhood wounds, understand emotional triggers, or figure out why certain aspects of life still feel overwhelming, this book feels like a warm, comforting acknowledgement that you are not alone. My own story doesn't start with obvious trauma. It starts quietly and subtly. When I was just 3 years old, I was sent to live with my maternal grandparents. This decision wasn't made because my parents didn't care for me. In fact, it was made out of deep love and a desire to give me the best possible education and opportunities, things unavailable near my childhood home. But as a young child, all I truly experienced was the confusing sense of separation and distance from my parents. Yes, I was cared for and deeply loved, but not having the chance to grow up in my parents' home left a lasting emotional mark that I carried silently for years. It was an invisible wound born from absence and longing, from needing to feel fully safe, emotionally seen, and consistently held. And here's a crucial truth Dr. van der Kolk emphasizes. Trauma doesn't always originate from violence or visible chaos. Sometimes it's quietly formed in the empty spaces, in those crucial moments where something vital was missing. Even when our minds don't clearly recall or articulate what happened, our bodies remember, storing those experiences deep within our nervous system. That's what makes The Body Keeps the Score so uniquely powerful. It beautifully illustrates that trauma isn't something we can simply get over with time. It's not just a painful memory that can be erased. It's a deeply embedded wound that shapes the way we breathe, how we handle stress, how we sleep at night, how we form relationships, and even how we cope with everyday challenges. But more importantly, this book holds a comforting message at its heart. Healing, genuine healing, is possible. Throughout this series, I'm not just summarizing chapters for you. I'm walking right beside you. As someone who's gone through therapy, who's still on the journey of self-discovery and healing, I know firsthand that this isn't simply about sharing insights from books. It's about breaking cycles that hold us back. It's about reclaiming the wholeness we deserve. It's about finally coming home to ourselves and embracing the person we were always meant to become. In the segments ahead, we'll dive deeper into understanding exactly how trauma alters the brain's functioning, why talk therapy alone might not always reach the deepest wounds, and how true healing often starts not with our thoughts, but within our bodies. We'll unpack strategies that help us reconnect to ourselves physically and emotionally, offering pathways back to safety and resilience. If you've ever felt stuck in your healing journey, if you've wondered why certain reactions still feel beyond your control, if you've ever thought, even briefly, that you might be broken, I promise this book and this video series was created especially for you. Stay with me, because coming up next is something incredibly insightful and crucial: how trauma changes the brain. Understanding the hijacked mind. Now that we understand trauma isn't just a painful memory, but something that lives deeply embedded within our bodies, we need to dive deeper and understand what's actually going on beneath the surface. Why does it feel like no matter how clearly we understand our past, our reactions still betray us at critical moments? In The Body Keeps the Score, Dr. Bessel van der Kolk takes us right into the hidden world of our brains. And what he reveals is nothing short of transformative. Trauma doesn't merely hurt our feelings or cause emotional pain. It literally reshapes the very structure and wiring of our brains. It hijacks how we think, how we feel, and how we instinctively respond to the world around us. At the core of this rewiring is a tiny almond-shaped part of our brain called the amygdala. Imagine this as your brain's built-in security system, constantly scanning for threats. Its primary job is to detect danger, immediately sound the alarm, and quickly prepare your body to react, whether that's to fight back, run away, or freeze completely. The amygdala is remarkably efficient at its job, sometimes even too efficient. When trauma strikes, whether it's a single, powerful event or the quiet, persistent ache of emotional neglect, the amygdala shifts into overdrive. It becomes extremely sensitive and hyper-alert. Soon, it begins reacting to even the smallest reminders of past danger, things that seem harmless on the surface. A particular tone of voice, a loud noise like a slammed door, certain smells, or even subtle facial expressions can instantly trigger a trauma response. Suddenly, your body reacts as if it's back in the very moment of danger, even when you're completely safe in the present. At the same time, another critical part of your brain, the prefrontal cortex, responsible for logical thinking, rational decisions, and keeping you calm, essentially gets sidelined. It shuts down or goes offline whenever your amygdala sounds the alarm. This explains why people who've experienced trauma often say things like, "I knew logically that I was safe, but my body didn't believe it. I couldn't think clearly at all, I just froze." These reactions aren't signs of weakness or overreaction. They're your brain's natural response trying to protect you, driven entirely by neurology. There's another important player here, the hippocampus, the brain's key organizer of memories. Trauma profoundly impacts this region as well, causing memories to become fragmented, overly intense, or sometimes completely suppressed. You might vividly remember every single detail of a traumatic event, or you might struggle to recall any part of it. Both reactions are perfectly normal, valid, and part of your brain's protective strategy. Dr. Kolk sums it up perfectly when he says, "The past is not just the past. It actually lives in the present, right inside your nervous system." When I first discovered this, it was like a weight lifted off my shoulders. For years, I'd felt confused about why certain situations would overwhelm me, even if they didn't seem that serious. I couldn't figure out why rejection felt so devastating, why some environments instantly made me shut down or feel helpless, even when logically nothing harmful was happening. Understanding the science behind it finally made sense of these reactions. It wasn't me choosing to be sensitive or overreacting. It was my brain and nervous system, still trying to protect that young boy who once felt alone, unseen, or emotionally unsafe. Once you truly grasp this, you stop blaming yourself for not being able to just move on. Trauma isn't just a painful memory, it's a deeply embedded pattern in your body and nervous system. Healing, therefore, isn't simply about changing your mindset. It's about helping your body and your nervous system learn how to feel genuinely safe again. In our next segment, we're going to explore exactly why talk therapy, while incredibly important and helpful, sometimes isn't enough on its own to heal deep-rooted trauma. Because the truth is, sometimes it's not about what you can articulate with words, it's about what your body still deeply remembers. There's something strange and profoundly frustrating that happens when you experience trauma. Even if you're able to talk about it, describe every detail, and intellectually understand exactly what happened, your body might still react as if you're living it all over again. Your heart races uncontrollably, your stomach twists in knots, your throat tightens painfully, and suddenly you're right back there, trapped in the trauma. This is exactly why, as Dr. Kolk shares so insightfully in The Body Keeps the Score, traditional talk therapy, though incredibly helpful and an essential starting point, sometimes isn't enough to fully heal trauma. For decades, Dr. Kolk listened deeply to patients who were articulate about their past traumas. They could vividly describe the experiences, logically understand their wounds, and clearly express their emotions. Yet despite all this understanding, they weren't truly healing. They weren't feeling relief or genuine progress. Why? Because trauma doesn't simply reside in our thoughts or memories. It's stored deeply in our bodies. And our bodies don't speak in words or sentences. They communicate through sensations, emotions, tension, panic, disconnection, and sometimes silence itself. Imagine you've experienced something deeply terrifying or emotionally overwhelming. Your body captured that trauma in your muscles, your breathing patterns, your posture, embedding those painful memories deep within. Years later, you might confidently say to yourself, "I understand logically this wasn't my fault." Yet your body still recoils from intimacy, freezes during arguments, or floods with anxiety at even subtle reminders of past hurt. No matter how much you talk or how deeply you analyze, those reactions won't stop, because words alone can't reach these deeply stored physical memories. This insight hit me personally with intense clarity. Like many others, I believed if I read enough books, understood enough theories, and talked openly enough, I would naturally heal. And although therapy provided crucial insights, opening doors I didn't know existed, I still carried an invisible weight that logic alone couldn't lift. That heaviness, I realized, existed far beneath the surface of my words and stories. It lived deeper. That's why Dr. van der Kolk began exploring healing methods beyond conventional talk therapy. Approaches that actively involve the body itself, methods that reconnect us with movement, breath, rhythm, touch, and presence. He discovered something powerful. The body doesn't only store trauma, it also holds the keys to healing. In his work, he describes how practices like yoga, EMDR, neurofeedback, somatic experiencing, dance, and mindfulness meditation can slowly restore a sense of safety and trust within our bodies. These methods don't erase the past trauma. Instead, they gently teach our bodies that the threat we once faced is no longer present. It's safe now. We can finally relax. Consider this deeply. Trauma wires your body to believe certain things. The world isn't safe. I can't trust anyone. I must always stay alert and guarded. Healing teaches your body something different, something gentle yet revolutionary. It's okay now. You're safe. You can finally breathe deeply. You can let go of the tension you've carried for so long. The most beautiful part of this journey? You don't necessarily have to talk your way through every painful moment. Instead, you can gently, gradually, feel your way toward healing. Through mindful stillness, intentional breathing, gentle movements, and practices designed to rewire your nervous system, you begin to teach your body to release its guard. You show your body, step by step, that the danger it's preparing for no longer exists. It's not a quick fix, healing rarely is, but it's profoundly real and life-changing. For many of us, myself included, this realization marks the first time our healing journey moves from something we merely talk or read about to something deeply felt, something deeply embodied. Coming up next, we'll dive deeper into exactly how our bodies remember trauma, exploring the subtle ways trauma is stored in our muscles, breath, posture, and stillness itself. There's a reason why you can be perfectly calm one moment and completely overwhelmed the next. Maybe it's a familiar scent, a certain tone of voice, a particular room, or even a subtle gesture. But suddenly your body tightens, your breath becomes shallow, and you don't feel like yourself anymore. You might not even understand why, but your body knows perfectly. Because, as Dr. Bessel van der Kolk beautifully puts it in The Body Keeps the Score, the body never forgets. Trauma leaves behind subtle but profound traces, not just in your mind, but in your muscles, your posture, your breath, your heart rate. It lives quietly in shoulders that never fully relax, in the jaw that's always clenched, in breaths that rarely go deep enough, in the way you might recoil slightly from gentle touch, or avoid eye contact without even noticing. And it doesn't matter how long ago your trauma happened. If your body hasn't yet had the chance to truly experience safety again, it'll continue reacting as though the danger is still here, right now. Dr. van der Kolk shares moving stories of war veterans who instinctively duck under tables at the sound of fireworks, because to their bodies, the threat of battle is still alive. He tells of children who faced abuse, who panic at the smallest change in tone or the slightest hint of anger, even during innocent play. He describes people who logically, intellectually, and consciously know they're safe now, but whose bodies never received that message. This deeply resonated with me personally. For years, I struggled to understand my own reactions. Why relationships could feel so scary at times. Why a raised eyebrow from someone I cared about felt like rejection. Why silence felt like abandonment. Why I'd brace myself for pain even when no one was causing me harm. The truth was, those feelings weren't about the present. They came from the past I still carried deep within my body, even when my mind had long moved on. because the body remembers, even when the mind tries to forget. But here's the hopeful part. Just as your body remembers trauma, it can also learn to remember healing. It can slowly discover, through new, safe, and nurturing experiences, that it's okay now, that safety exists, that not every story ends in pain, and not every connection comes with fear. Dr. van der Kolk emphasizes that healing isn't about fixing what's broken, because you're not broken. It's about reconnecting gently and compassionately with your body. It's about noticing your sensations without judging them. It's about breathing deeply into the places that feel tense or guarded. It's about movement, stretching, stillness, giving yourself permission and space to simply feel again. This is why practices like yoga and mindfulness are so transformative for trauma recovery. Not because they're trendy or popular, but because they help you gently reclaim your breath, your space, your entire being. Trauma can disconnect you profoundly from your body, but healing is the tender process of coming home to yourself. So if you've ever felt your body was betraying you, pulling you into anxiety, panic, numbness, or reactivity before you even had the chance to think, please hear this clearly. You're not broken. You're remembering. And with patience, compassion, and support, you can slowly teach your body to write a new story, a story of safety, healing, and gentle reconnection. Stay with me because coming up next, we'll explore specific paths toward recovery, sharing powerful insights into reclaiming your body and gently rewiring your brain for lasting healing. By now, we've deeply explored how trauma embeds itself inside, not just in our memories, but in the subtle rhythms of our breath, in the tension of our muscles, in our posture, and deep within our nervous systems. If you've ever felt stuck or trapped in repetitive patterns, like your body continues to betray you even when your mind desperately wants to move forward, this next segment is exactly where the healing journey starts to open up. Because here's the powerful truth. Dr. van der Kolk emphasizes clearly and compassionately in The Body Keeps the Score. Healing isn't just possible, it's profoundly achievable. Not instantly, and not simply by forcing yourself to move on, but gradually, gently, and compassionately, through practices designed to reconnect you to your own body, one breath, one moment at a time. In his groundbreaking book, Dr. van der Kolk introduces several pathways, not as one-size-fits-all cures, but as gentle, powerful tools that help us restore a sense of safety and reclaim our bodies. Because true recovery begins precisely there, in feeling genuinely safe again, first within yourself. One of the most foundational tools he introduces is mindfulness. But this isn't the watered-down, commercialized mindfulness we often see in wellness ads. This is the deeper kind, the authentic practice of sitting with your sensations and emotions without judgment. It's learning to gently notice what's happening within you without needing to run away, numb out, or immediately fix it. It's about gently whispering to your body, "I'm here now, and I'm finally listening." Then there's yoga, but not the kind you practice to get fit or flexible. Dr. van der Kolk discovered that trauma-sensitive yoga, where the entire focus is on empowering choice, gentle breathing, and cultivating internal awareness, can dramatically shift trauma survivors' relationships with their bodies. Practitioners begin to notice their bodies rather than fearing them. Slowly, gently, movement becomes safe again, and they regain a sense of ownership and comfort in their bodies, often for the first time in years. Another remarkable and powerful tool is EMDR, eye movement desensitization and reprocessing. This fascinating method helps the brain gently process traumatic memories, allowing you to revisit these painful moments without having to re-experience the emotional overwhelm. Think of EMDR as giving your brain a compassionate second chance to make sense of something that once felt completely chaotic and senseless. For countless trauma survivors, EMDR has opened doors that once seemed permanently closed. Dr. van der Kolk also explores neurofeedback, a groundbreaking technique that helps the brain learn healthier patterns by providing real-time feedback. Neurofeedback trains your brain to shift from chaos to calm, from being hyper-alert and anxious to a more grounded, present state. While it sounds technical, the outcomes are deeply personal. Better sleep, less anxiety, more meaningful connections, and a renewed sense of inner peace. But perhaps the most essential tool of all, the cornerstone of deep, lasting healing, is relationship. Trauma is often born out of relationship wounds like abandonment, betrayal, neglect, or abuse. Yet, healing also blossoms most powerfully within safe, nurturing, and trustworthy relationships. Dr. Kolk stresses that healing thrives in genuine connections, be it with a therapist, a support group, a trusted friend, or even someone who can simply hold quiet, non-judgmental space. Trauma disconnects us, isolates us, makes us wary of closeness, but healing reconnects us, brings us back into the warmth of genuine human connection. I've personally experienced the truth of these tools. The more openly I shared in therapy, the more courageously I faced my sensations instead of running from them. The more I breathed deeply when my heart wanted to shut down, the more I began to sense an internal shift. It wasn't dramatic or instantaneous. Instead, it was slow, steady, gentle, yet profoundly real, a returning home to myself, moment by moment. So, if you're walking this path, and I know many of you are, please remember, there's no single right path. There's no ideal speed or timeline for healing. There's simply one brave step, one intentional practice, one gentle moment at a time. If your body still holds pain or tension, please know that's perfectly okay. Because it also holds something incredibly powerful, the blueprint for your healing. Stay with me because next, we'll conclude our journey with an uplifting look at the wisdom our bodies hold and the beautiful hope of becoming whole again. As we come to the end of this journey through The Body Keeps the Score, I want to pause with you, not to wrap things up neatly, because healing never fits neatly into a box, but to create a moment of gentle acknowledgement. I want to hold space with you right now, for everything you felt as you've watched this, for everything you've endured, and for all that you might still be carrying silently inside. This incredible book has taught me something profound that I now hold with me every single day. Trauma doesn't mean you're broken. Trauma means your body, your heart, your very being found a powerful, courageous way to survive something overwhelming. Your body adapted, protected you, kept you safe, and now, slowly, compassionately, it's gently asking you to notice, to listen, and to love it back into safety. Bessel Kolk reminds us powerfully that healing isn't about erasing the past or forgetting the hurt. It's about gradually learning to feel safe again in your own skin. It's about gently finding the courage to come back home, to your body, your breath, your present moment. You might not consciously recall everything that wounded you deeply, but your body remembers. It remembers in tension, in anxiety, in moments of panic. And here's something essential. Your body isn't punishing you by remembering. It's patiently waiting for you to slow down and softly say, you don't have to carry this alone anymore. You don't have to fight or hide anymore. This truth landed deeply in my own heart in ways I hadn't expected. For so long, I believed strength meant pushing through, ignoring pain, being tough. But I've since learned that true strength is quiet. It's found in the pauses we take before reacting. It's found when we allow our bodies to tremble if they need to. When we acknowledge the inner child who still lives within us, gently telling them, you are safe now, I'm here, and I'm not going anywhere. That's exactly why I created this series, not merely to summarize books, but to journey alongside you, step by step, moment by moment. To gently remind you, I'm still learning too, I'm still healing, and you're absolutely not alone in this. If you've experienced trauma, whether loud and visible or quiet and invisible, obvious or hidden, this book and this series was created specifically for you. If your body still holds on to fear, tension, grief, or sadness, I want you to hear this clearly. There's nothing wrong with you. These sensations aren't a sign of failure. They're how your body learned to survive. Yet the book offers something else, something hopeful, something deeply powerful that I want to leave with you today. Your body holds the capacity to heal. Your mind can shift. Your story can rewrite itself. And you, exactly as you are right now, are not too much. You're not too late. You are already bravely on your way back to yourself. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for joining me here today for this summary of The Body Keeps the Score. I'm Bix, and this is Bix Book Summary, a place where healing isn't something we merely talk about. It's something we actively live. One mindful breath, one gentle moment at a time. If this video spoke deeply to you, touched something true inside your heart, please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to support the channel further and dive even deeper into your own healing, grab your own copy of The Body Keeps the Score from the link below. Your support truly means the world to me. And before you go, please leave a comment. What part of your healing journey are you most proud of today? Let's make this a safe, supportive space where our stories are met with kindness and courage, never fear. Until next time, please be gentle with yourself. You're never alone. And remember, you're already healing.